Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Moe Jeudy-Lamour about Season 3 of Ted Lasso. He, of course, plays the goalkeeper, Thierry Zorro, a.k.a. Van Damme. If you know, you know. Welcome back to the show, man. It's good to see you again.
If you know, you know. I love it, dude. I love it.
It's good to see you again, man. Thank you for your time.
Good to see you, too, but thank you for having me.
I'm curious to just know in general when you're officially coming back for Season 3. I mean, you know, you guys wrapped this a while ago. Now people are able to see everything. But are you just is it just a lot of thoughts about, you know, what's my character going to do? How's the story? Because a lot kind of ended pretty crazy for Season 2. But are you just thinking of a lot of things specifically? I guess it's just like that, right?
Well, as a fan of the show and being on the show, it's like, what's happening with Nate? Like, yeah. I didn't even really care about my character at the beginning because we were reading scripts, and because every time we get it, like we filmed by blocks, yeah. So it was 2 episodes. So we would do like all like an episode from episode 1 and an episode from episode 2 the same day. So it was all mashed up. But we would get the 2 scripts, so we would read and be like, "Yo, what's up with Nate? What's up with Nate?" Because we're so invested, you know. And then you kind of think about your character, and you're like, "Oh, wait. Well, I gotta check what like I have to learn my lines, you know."
Yeah, absolutely. Because I feel like, I mean, you know, if you even talk to Brett and, you know, Bill and Jason about this, like the main kind of goal when you get a new season is to make it the best season possible, right, compared to the other 2. That's like the main goal. But then there's all these other things that kind of interest me about, like, characters, and we're going to learn more and everything, you know what I mean? And I do find it interesting because, you know, a lot has happened kind of with Richmond, and, you know, we kind of pick up right where we left off, you know, with the team kind of figuring out, but there's been kind of some more obstacles thrown, you know, some new players and everything. So what was that like, getting the first scripts for Season 3?
It was great. And the funny thing is, some of the writers have been writing for so long for Season 3 that they kind of forget that we don't get the scripts. And so some of the writers were like, yeah, and then Zava does this. And we're like, hey, yo, who is Zava? And they're like, it's the best player in the world. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You know? And so then we had to figure out. And then the funny thing about Max is I met him one day, like I think he came to practice, and I saw him and I was like, oh, nice, an American dude, like, because I live in America, so I was like, oh, sick, like another American guy. Yeah. And then the next day he comes to me and he's like, dude, bro, we met before and you know my wife. I was like, what? And his wife is Deechin Lackman, who I've worked with like 10 years ago, and I met him in LA like in 2017. So I was like, whoa, dude, this is absolutely crazy. It's such a small world. And then we just kicked it off, and like Max is such a dope dude, and we were so happy like to be working with him and stuff. So
was it cool to think about? Because technically, correct me if I'm wrong, you came on the show, we talked about this. Like Zorro joins the team a little later, right? When we first meet your character, right? Kind of the same boat. So like the new kind of player on the block with Zava. Did you have conversations with him at all about that? Where like your character was in a little bit of a similar boat in past seasons? Because I find that's pretty interesting too.
Yeah, well, the crazy thing is Cristo too, Danny Rojas. Same thing. He comes in the same episode I do. But then I didn't. It's like if you talk to like Tahib and the other Mo, like to them, it's like, dude, you came in episode 1, and I'm like, no, bro, I came in episode like 5 or 6, and they didn't even realize. It's just because they're so nice and so inviting, and even I saw it through Max because Max was telling me, he was like, no, you guys were so nice with me. It just felt like we all knew each other, and I was there since like last season or something. And I was like, dude, I didn't even realize, because every time we had an event, we'd be like, yo, Max, you coming with us? And then he'd be like, well, I don't know, I don't know if I can be in pictures with you guys. And I'm like, bro, we don't care. You're one of our boys now. Like, we're going to this basketball game. You coming with us, bro.
It's so crazy. And, you know, I got the chance to see a few episodes before they came out. So I knew about Zava. And it was like the hardest thing just to keep that to myself, because that stuff was so good. And there's 2 kind of moments with Zorro that are some of my favorites for this season. One involving the rumors of Zava coming, you know what I mean, in the locker room. That scene was just incredible. And then your showdown with Zava, where your name gets changed to Van Damme. So I just kind of want to know, those two scenes like were so big for you, man. I'm so happy for you. What were those like? What was that like? I know there was a lot of cracking up with kind of the rumors of Zava.
Oh yeah. No, the cracking up. The funny thing is the scene where we're all together and we're all talking about Zava and Trent writing the book. That scene, must have filmed that like for 3 months. Yeah. Because it was just so crazy to film it in this angle, that angle. Everybody is in the room. So it was a little bit hard, but they figured it out and it went. It's like, it's such a good scene and it really paid off to really work on it. And then the Zava thing is hilarious. Every scene we had with Max, man, like Max is such a veteran. He's so good. And his comedic timing was so on point too. So to me, have a scene with him where he tells me that, I was like, dude, that's amazing. To have something that's pivotal about my character, but it's thanks to him. I was like, I'll take it any day. It's so
why?
Yeah. He's like, why? And then the name of his kids, dude. That was.
But that must have been hard for you too. Well, maybe not, but like you really have to like, you'd be confused. Like anyone would be confused, right? If someone just said like, why?
Yeah. 100%.
That scene is just so hilarious, man. It's so iconic and everything. And I just want to know, because I said in the beginning of the interview too, right? Like, AKA Van Damme. And if you know, you know, right? Anything you could tell me about that? Like, why? Like, is there a reason why it was Van Damme specifically for Zorro? Like, I'm curious about that.
Well, the funny thing was when, Jason he told me about my character, and my character was like, loves movies and would love to become a movie star at one point. So I was like, as a kid myself, Mo, I used to love watching Van Damme's movies because I speak French, he spoke French, and then he was in Hollywood doing all of that, and he was an action star. And he was jacked, and I was like scrawny. I was a scrawny kid, and so I was like, yo, this guy is like, he is what I want to become, you know, and so like martial artist and all of that. And so I was like, what about Van Damme? Like as a nickname, Van Damme would be really, really cool. And then, dude, art imitates life. And then boom, I'm Van Damme. Van Damme is the nickname on the show, which is I find that so hilarious and it's so beautiful. And so I've always been a big fan of Van Damme. And so now that like there's something with it in my career, I'm like, this is so cool. It's so amazing.
No, it's so great and everything. I feel like the show obviously focuses on football because it's the Richmond team, but in a lot of ways, I feel like, especially with everything happening with Ted this season, you know, you kind of sometimes forget that it's like about sports. I feel like it's about way more than that, and it's about life and everything. Do you start kind of noticing that even after season 2, that in one regard, this is about football and it's about sports, but in the other regard of things, it's not. It's about life and other things. Like it's a tale of two shows a little bit with Ted Lasso, which I find interesting.
I think great shows and great movies and even great music, it's always you feel like it's about one thing, but really it's about the people and what they go through, and it's always like, it's just we invite you like, oh, you like sports, like, oh, look, it's sports, but then it's like, no, dude, it's about the people. Yeah, it's about what goes through their lives and through their minds and stuff like that. So it's but dude, I'm so fortunate and I'm so proud and so happy to be part of such a beautiful thing. Yeah, I'm so lucky, dude. Sometimes I wake up in sweats and I'm like, wait, am I really part of this? Like, you know, like it's great. I'm so happy.
When I saw the Instagram reel that AFC Richmond was going to be playable in FIFA, I'm not even kidding you. I mean, we talked about this. I shouted like a fan. Like I was like, oh my God, like I did. Like I actually made it like sounds, and I was like freaking out. And like people in my house heard me. Like I was freaking out because I didn't know anything about that. Maybe if I was on the chats, because you know how it is on Reddit, everything, there's always rumblings of things and people find out things all the time. But like that was fresh. Like I had no idea. So I saw that and I was like, oh my God. So dude, I know how important, you know, FIFA was for all of you guys, like in terms of bonding and getting you together and everything. So I can't even imagine what was going through your mind, man. Like Thierry Zorro is playable in FIFA.
Dude, I was like, there's no way. Impossible. And then they started sending us the pictures of like us, but not. It's not us, but it's us, which is the weirdest thing, dude. Because you're like, wait, that's not me, but it really is.
You
me.
guys didn't
And
do
you
any
wanna play.
did you do any like mocap or anything for them, or?
Well, no, it's like you enter a little like pod kind of, and
Yeah.
then it's like picture I don't know how many cameras are around you, and you move and you talk and stuff, and then boom, they capture you.
That must have been a big secret that you had to kind of keep for a while. That you were just like, man.
We couldn't believe it when Jason told us. We were like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then it's like, yo, yeah. So tomorrow we're gonna be filming for that. We were like, what? We're actually doing this? This is so crazy.
Have you heard any stories of people like about like Zorro getting transferred to any other leagues or anything? Like,
Not that many, though. Not that many. But apparently, I think you did, right?
yeah, there was a
I
few.
think you transferred me, bro. I
I
thought we
transferred
were
you.
boys.
You were the backup for Toronto FC. It didn't work, man. That does-
Dude, what are you doing, man?
I don't know, man. They got flashbacks from you letting in 5 goals in season 2. Do you remember I
Okay.
messaged you about that,
That's
bro?
fair.
You like
Yeah. I get a lot of those messages, dude. I get so many of those
Well,
messages. And sometimes I'm like, yo, you guys gotta understand. I know where the ball is gonna go. I can't stop it. I'm not supposed to stop it.
Cristo told me that he saw Daniel Rojas get transferred to Real Madrid. He said that was really cool.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Dude,
That's really
it's so cool because I've interviewed a lot of you. You know what I realized, by the way? And I don't know if this is an Popternative exclusive. It has to be. Currently, like every player on, actually except for Zava, that doesn't count. But I've interviewed every player on AFC Richmond.
Oh, have you?
Everyone, even everyone. Like every
that's
person.
amazing.
But not Brett, but like everyone that's active on the team. I have interviewed. I've been thinking about that.
Have you interviewed Mo?
Yeah, more shit. I did him with Toheeb together.
Oh, that's amazing. That's great.
I've done Stefan. I've done David. I've done like the whole
Phil.
team, man. It's crazy. Phil.
That's great.
Yeah, Billy,
great.
Kola, like everyone.
Of
Like
course,
it's pretty sick. Like
That's
you're one
dope.
of the only guys now that's been on the show twice. So
There
like-
you go. There you go. Canada represent.
No, it's really, really cool, man. And I know you're a big kind of like, you're just a big movie guy. Like you love movies and everything. And you're on a TV show that in a lot of ways, especially this season, is so big scale wise and so cinematic and everything. That's a dream come true too, right? That TV has kind of become so cinematic. Like, that's my favorite thing about it.
Yeah, no, but the crazy thing is I watch it and I'm like, dude, I'm part of this, man. What?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm with other people that are so passionate about movies. The amount of movie references, even theater or musicals or books and literature, and I'm like, dude, this is such a privilege to be part of this.
It's incredible and everything. It's funny because, you know, I feel like Zorro is just happy to be there. I don't think he's I don't think he's full of himself as a goaltender. I think he's just kind of one of the boys and just kind of he's there to help his team and everything. What's your favorite thing about this character? Because you got to play this character now for 3 seasons. So I'm just curious, what's your favorite thing about this character?
I mean, I'd say for sure he's a weirdo, which is kind of me, which is a lot of fun to play. He's a weirdo. He'll try to, you know, like get money from everything, like even the Nespresso machines and stuff from season 2. But I think he really like holding his head high, because dude, there's a lot of goals that go in sometimes where I'm like, I don't think as me myself as Mo.
That's why you got transferred, man.
That's why you got transferred.
I'm just saying.
I get
you
it.
were so mad when I told you that. It was so great. I love it.
You were so mad. Of course I was mad, dude. What the hell? What the disrespect, bro? We're boys. We're boys.
You came with a vengeance and you went to another league and you were great. And then, you know, it was all good.
Okay.
This is the villain origin story.
Yeah, exactly.
Zorro
Yeah, that's what you. Yeah, it started off because of you, man.
Seriously, man, I'm so happy for you, dude, to see kind of where the character's been and everything happening with Ted Lasso. I mean, one of the biggest shows on the planet, which is just incredible. Mo, always great catching up with you, man. Thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Thank you for having me, man.
Instagram is just is it just Mo Thursday Love? That's the handle.
Yeah,
right?
Mo Thursday Love, which is my name in French.
And episodes are just kind of rolling out now in season 3, and it gets
Episode
bigger
4
and
is out.
it's like a roller coaster you can't escape. Basically, that's Ted Lasso season 3, right? It's just ups and downs.
Straight up.
Which is awesome. Awesome. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. You can, of course, catch Moe Jeudy-Lamour as Thierry Risotto, aka Van Damme, season 3 of Ted Lasso, episodes rolling out on Apple TV Plus. Until next time, Smo and Peter Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.